Hey, what's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. Now, I have just put up a poll about a recent record high redemption that I've done with points that I've transferred in order to take another awesome aspirational trip, and I got some great participation from the poll. But at this point, we really need to let my co-star do her thing so we can just dive right into it.
Welcome back to my dad's channel. If you're new here, make sure to click that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to share.
Now let's just be honest. There are grail quests, as it were, for people who really just feed off the lifeblood of transfer partners and using convertible points in order to do aspirational and in some cases domestic trips that they otherwise would not do. I fall into that category. No disrespect to cash back, but that's just where I land. So now some of the top 5 grail quests are everyone always mentions the Maldives. I mean, it's not really my thing, but I have to go with what the masses do. I'm more of a South Pacific guy because I kind of think the Maldives are overrated, but who cares about what I think? Another feather in the cap or notch that all travel files want to do is fly Emirates, business, and or first class. These products are absolutely legendary in the travel community. There are numerous vlogs where people wait and they save in order to do these specific trips by any means necessary. In for number 3, we have another Middle East carrier that is literally one of the trophies at the end of the race, and that is Etihad. If you have a chance, their products are absolutely amazing. By all means, check them out. There are numerous videos where people want to travel in what's called the residence, which is essentially an apartment in the sky. Now, Emirates has a shower for first class and a bar in the sky, but Etihad took it a whole step further and put a bedroom, a living room, a private bathroom, a shower, all contained just for you. And that's only the in-air experience. If you check out some other videos that are out there, they'll actually show you the ground experience as well that includes chauffeur transfers, bespoke spa treatments in the lounges, like the list goes on and on. And with number 4, you can't leave out where you're gonna sleep. It's great to fly somewhere, but you gotta sleep somewhere. So pretty much most people who travel tend to want to stay at the top luxury brands of at least the big 3, those being Hilton, Marriott, and Hyatt. So let's just face it, my stay off the highway at the Comfort Inn just isn't gonna measure to the Park Hyatt New York or Park Hyatt Tokyo. And that will only be comparable to the Alila Ventana Big Sur, which will then be comparable to the Conrad Fort Lauderdale Beach, and the list goes on and on. So pretty much everybody who is about this travel life wants to stay at the luxury brands, because other than that, I mean, really, who's paying cash for that? That's absolutely ridiculous. Now, the final thing, the final quest that most team travel people go on is to fly none other than Qatar Q-Suites, which has been lauded and awarded as literally the best business class in the air. Years running, I've seen numerous channels where people aspire to this. There are actually numerous channels that actually teach you how to book this, because the availability for Qatar Q-Suites is such a moving target that you don't know how to do it. You know what I mean? In addition to actually getting it and where you're gonna fly from. Now, with that being said, let's get to the poll. Now, the poll actually has 74 votes, which is one of the highest participation rates for any poll that I've actually ever put on the channel, which I have to say thank you. Thank you so much. That is absolutely amazing, and I can't thank you guys enough. Now, with that, we had a couple of choices. We had Aeroplan, we had Qatar, we had Virgin Atlantic, we had Avianca, and to round off the list, we had American Airlines. If you watch my previous video about my new strategy coming through this year, you'll understand why American Airlines was on that list. Now, with that, considering my last redemption for Lufthansa business class, which was over 8 cents per point, a lot of people chose Aeroplan as a clear winner. It actually got the most votes, coming in with 30%. But unfortunately, if you guessed Aeroplan, you were incorrect. Now, also, there have been comments on there, and I really appreciate the comments and the interaction, but without further ado, I have to tell you that no one was correct because I made a mistake on the poll. So technically, if you chose Qatar, You were correct, when in fact I actually did this booking through British Airways. Now, for some reason, I was thinking British Airways and I typed Qatar. I actually used British Airways to do this booking on Qatar Q-Suites for, well, at this point, it's very far in advance, so it's gonna be next year, January, but I'll explain why in a minute. So if you guessed Qatar, I will give you credit for guessing British Airways because for some reason, I had a Freudian slip, and for some reason, I was so happy that I got the Qatar Q-Suites booking that instead of writing British Airways, I wrote Qatar. So for all the people who chose Qatar, good job. That is absolutely amazing. You should pat yourself on the back. So here's the thing. I, just like everyone else, really shoot for goals, and I've always had a goal to fly Q-Suites. Ever since I've seen it, I've watched numerous videos on it, I've watched reviews of it, and I have been researching this and researching this and researching this, and one thing that I've found is that the best way to get Q-Suites availability is to book as far in advance as possible because it gets snapped up like that. Now, there are numerous ways to book it. You can do it as I did on British Airways, which is a One World partner, as with Qatar Airlines, or you can book it through American Airlines, which again is another One World partner, or you can book directly with Qatar, or you can even use Qantas, because sometimes Qantas is the best way to get like Emirates flights and such and what have you. So there are numerous ways to do it, and literally when you're doing the transfer point game, it's purposely confusing because let's just face it, they've paid for these points, but why pass that on to you if you don't know what you're doing and they get devalued? You got to keep spending more in order to spend more. You get what I'm saying? You got to keep spending more money to spend more points in order to get the same products as they get devalued every year. So now I'm sure you want me to just get to the point and tell you how I got 9.72 cents per point on this redemption. And here's how I did it. I actually found a booking in the month that I wanted to find, leaving from a very advantageous place. I'm actually leaving from Miami in order to go to Doha. Now remember, in my video about One World hubs, Miami is an American hub, so One World partners tend to frequent Miami as well. So it's easier to find routes both domestically and internationally going out of respective hubs. I'm sandwiched between Miami and Atlanta, which is a One World hub and a SkyTeam hub respectively. So that is why I booked out of Miami. Although Qatar Q-Suites has routes coming out of Atlanta as well, I just figured it would be easier to book out of a hub spot. Now for the numbers. On British Airways, I actually found booking for 2 tickets for me and the player 2, the lovely Mrs. Minutes. And we found that for 189,000 British Airways Avios plus $208.70 for taxes and fee, of course. So because the booking is so far in advance, Google Flights didn't even have it yet, I went on Qatar's website and I actually found the cash value of the 2 tickets. I looked it up, same exact flight, they had it listed, and the cash price for these bookings is $18,583 US, which there is no way. I can't do it. That's insane. It's like $9,200 a person. It's almost $9,300 per human being. Hey, look, I know it's a 13.5-hour flight in the best business class in the world, but I'm just a working stiff. There's no way. Now, instead of paying said $18,500, I went the route of simply paying $200 out of pocket, which at a calculation is fairly well a 99% discount. I literally paid just about 1 penny on the dollar from full price. Now with that being considered, the $18,583 minus the $208.70 for taxes and fees divided by the 189,000 British Airways Avios gives you a simple point value of 9.72. That's great. It's just an absolutely great deal. I was just blown away. So when I found the availability, what I did was source the points. Now, if you've been watching the channel, you've seen that we have been doing some traveling. We did our wonderful vacation in Italy. We went to the Paris Salon at Charles de Gaulle. We went to the Vatican. We went to Germany. We just recently went to Vegas. We enjoyed some Super Bowl festivities. Before that, we were in Seattle. So points don't really stick around for too long in this house, but given that we have 4 little ones and life is not getting cheaper, the spend through all of our cards, through strategic spending and making sure that we are hawks about our balances and being responsible credit card users, both with credit scores over 800, we are able to use points to leverage everything. But that does a lot of battle with my philosophy of earn and burn. And I found that even after all of that travel, this morning when I woke up, I had at least across multiple platforms, almost 190,000 points that were just sitting there. The more they sit there, the more you give them an opportunity to devalue said points. So I found the availability and I did it, and this is what I transferred. I transferred 67,000 Chase UR points, which literally brought the balances across all of my Chase cards comprehensively to under 1,000. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I have 700 points out of all of my Chase cards. Now, mind you, my wife also has Chase points. Now, the thing is what we're gonna do is we're gonna be smart because we also need a place to stay. So she's gonna hold on to those and then we'll transfer them as needed once we find hotel availability. Now, in addition to that, I actually transferred 101,000 Amex MR points, leaving my balance at, I think it's just around 5,000 points. It's, it's a little something, but it's negligible to say the least. We're gonna need to refill that kitty as well. Also, I transferred 19,900 Capital One miles. Now, I just recently got the Saver One. I've been using that in addition with my venture. So I had some combined points there. Still got, I wanna say like 2,000 points in Capital One, but it came in clutch. I didn't use any built points because I actually did a speculative transfer to Aeroplan that I hadn't told you guys about, but you know about it now. And we'll get into that in another video because they had a great bonus and I had to take advantage of it. Now, with that being considered, that total actually comes out to 187,900 points. So you're asking, where'd I make up the difference? Well, I had some extra British Avios that were in that account from a miscalculation from another booking that I had done. So I just tried to true it up as best as I could. So that way I didn't have points just sitting in that account. But that is the booking. 9.72 cents per point. This is by far my highest booking to date, my highest cent per point value. Normally, I don't chase cent per point values with domestic flights because the whole point is just to get there for free. But for these aspirational long haul trips, there's no reason not to try to shoot for the stars. Plus, I got it during a favorable time that I want to travel anyway. I was gonna travel anyway, and this works out well. So the question that you might have is, okay, you've burned all your points to go there. How are you gonna get back? In addition to that, where are you gonna live? Because here's the thing, when you do aspirational travel, first and foremost, I don't care what anybody tells you, come here, listen to your Godfather. The most important part isn't even getting there, it's getting home. Now, mind you, I booked the flight getting there. I have to figure out how to get home, and I will do that before I do any hotel bookings whatsoever. You gotta be able to get in, and you gotta be able to get out. So those will be the bookends. And then in between that, interspersed will be hotel bookings because over there, it's easier in the Middle East, Northern Africa, to take short haul flights to actually see multiple locations at multiple times. So I'm gonna mix it up a little bit, and as time goes on and I start doing the booking in stages, I will definitely keep you guys informed. But that is it. That is the booking. Please tell me in the comments what you think about this booking. Did I do well? Should I have waited for a transfer bonus? Because there were no transfer bonuses used. Do you think I knocked it out of the park? Do you think I could have done better given my experience? I want to know all of your opinions. By all means, please leave them down there. I'd love to see them and respond and reply. So now, in addition to that, I'll give you some of the ideas of the last bookings that I've done by doing the pointy thing. So you'll see the videos. It'll be like right here. And with that, I'll catch you next time.